Hi, I'm Brandon,
I'm Beth.
and today I'm going to be talking about how I render down bear fat.
And I will be talking about making chicken stock, which I use all the time in cream soups and any recipes that call for chicken broth. And so we'll be going over how I jar that and a couple other things along the way.
I have some bear fat here from just pulled it out of the freezer. It's better if it's not completely thawed, that way it's a little bit firmer when you cut it up. And I'm just going to trim this up into about ½ inch, quarter-inch size pieces. The reason why I cut it so small is that way it'll render faster. And today we're going to be using the crock pot method. You can do this on the stovetop as well. This fat is from the stomach of the black bear. Now that we have all the bear fat cut up and all the hair and other non-fat particles removed, we got it in our crock pot base. We'll go ahead and turn it on low, get it covered up, and we'll be checking on it every once in a while, giving it a stir and seeing how far along it is. So we're here just checking on our bear fat and see how it's going. You can see that there's definitely liquid forming at the bottom here. So we're just going to give it a stir, and we'll go ahead and cover it back up again and come check on it again in a little while. Well, the bear fat's making good progress. A lot more liquid showing now, but not quite done yet. Having it in small pieces does help it render much faster, makes the render more efficient so you get more of the liquid to come out. When it's finished, it should look something like this. The whiter it is, the better. This one's been thawing out on the counter here for a little bit, and this one just came out of the fridge. It's a little bit darker color, not as desirable. This one either had a little bit of meat in it when it was cooked, or it may have been cooked at a little bit too high of a temperature and therefore has that color too. Well, it's been a few hours and you can see that this fat has completely rendered out. What we have left here is the cracklings, and we'll just go ahead and strain this off into jars. All this bear grease it'll be kept in the freezer for an indefinite period of time. It can stay in the fridge for a month easily, and it's good for different things such as baking and greasing your pans, frying eggs in, and they're really good in pastries and dipping dry meat in.
Today we are making chicken stock from the chickens we butchered recently. We had already butchered the chickens and saved the breasts and the legs and thighs and wings for packaging for baking and fried chicken and things. But we took the backs and we are boiling them down to make chicken stock. And so I had a bunch of backs in my big stock pot here. I covered them with water, and then I let it boil for about 3 or 4 hours at a hard boil. And then I set outside to cool for the night. I'm going to separate the juice from the meat, and then I will skim the fat off the top before I jar it. I know sometimes people say you should drain it before you cool it down, but sometimes I just don't have the time for that, so I just set it outside overnight and I drain it in the morning. Here's my stock, this drain. Now, ideally, put it somewhere cooler to let this all solidify and get the fat off the top, but I do so much that I can't fit it in my fridge, so I just cool it down as much as I can, and I'll skim off a lot of this fat before we jar it. The chicken that's left in, you see it's falling all apart. That's really good. You can get the nutrients out of the bones and out of the meat and out of the cartilage that way. I will put this in a bowl.
We're picking meat off the chicken bones, and when it's clean, Mom jars it for later.
That will be also jarred for things like chicken sandwiches or enchiladas or anything that you use shredded chicken for. And now I brought it back up to a boiling, and I'm going to fill up these jars, and I'm going to clean the rim and get them ready to can with the lids and the rings. Okay, we have chicken soup in the canner right now. I have it up to pressure, and I set the timer for 75 minutes. That's how long they recommend pints being processed for chicken, is 75 minutes. If it was in quarts, it'd be 90 minutes. We have chicken soup right here that's already been finished. When we are ready to eat it, we'll just heat it up add some noodles or some cooked rice to it. It'll be nice and quick, which is great. I love quick meals. And then this is what the chicken will look like when it's done. It's just a chicken covered in the chicken stock, and we'll use it for quesadillas or enchiladas or chicken sandwiches, which is another quick meal, which I also love because we tend to get busy around here.